for entertainment dollars, and your clients come to you and tell you, know, can I spend it? Where should I spend it? Where do you see the smart money going? And where do you see the future of in-person versus virtual subscriptions for entertainment dollars?
That's a good question. Entertainment. Well, with entertainment, I don't usually like to get too far into it because some people got some really funny habits, if you know what I mean. So I don't usually go on a per event basis. Naturally, a lot goes to subscriptions. That's the fixed, consistent amounts. We got Disney Plus, Crave, Netflix, obviously Amazon Prime. Um, Paramount recently coming out with some great shows. I subscribe to Paramount too. Um, where do I see it going? I see a lot of people going to do the subscription model. So when I was in university, this was actually one of the things we studied. It was pretty much a whole class on product pricing. So and we're well, just service pricing and product pricing. So there were a bunch of different models that you could use to price a product or a service to see, what was the most efficient, what was the most optimal, blah, 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 right? Basically, we had the subscription model, which is monthly or whatever every periodically.
Could be three
And
months, 6 months, a year,
yeah,
or
of
every
course,
month,
or it could
biweekly.
be
There's all sorts of,
bi-weekly. Yeah, it could be anything.
yeah.
And then we had the upfront, pay everything is right up top. Okay. So we're going to pay, $1,000, we get a fridge, we're done. Right. And then there was the mix of both. Right. So, hey, it's going to cost you like going to a gym, a franchise gym. You have a gym membership fee, you have a startup cost, whatever it is, $100, and then after that you pay $50 biweekly or whatever it is. So there were many different models that we looked at, and it's interesting that the subscription model is becoming the most popular and famous one now, because when I was in school, it was actually the most inefficient one for the consumer. I know that's not a surprise to most people, but it's like you said, we've come as a society to this point where we just like are so lazy. We need instant gratification. We want convenience over everything. Hence, Amazon Prime becoming $1 trillion company because it's so hard to go to the store and buy stuff that you need Amazon to deliver it right to your doorstep. Um, so it's just, I don't love the subscription model. I'd rather pay on a per event basis. I think there's more gratification on a per event basis because you've worked to save that money to actually enjoy the event. Do I see things happening virtually? No. As somebody who, I guess the majority of us were doing everything virtually over the last 2 years, I love going out to see people now. I had one of my first client meetings, in-person client meetings with a long-time client. And I went to their house and we sat there and it was just wonderful. It was just a great time. And so I'd rather that, but virtual subscriptions is where the direction of everything's going.
Well, let's go to the virtual subscriptions for a moment. We'll talk about in person right after. So here's what I'm thinking, Zach. So I'm a typical Joe Schmo, and I come to Zachary Rain of Rain Finance, and I said, Zach, help me make a budget, help me put money away. And you take this average Joe Schmo. Apologies to any real Joe Schmoes out there. That's not you particular. And we look at their credit card and debit statements every month, right?
Oh yeah.
Zach, it doesn't end. I mean, I see people for refinances and they send me statements and wow. So you got your cell phone bill, your cable bill, then you
Yeah.
got your Netflix subscription, you got your Amazon Prime, you got Spotify, you got Crave TV, Paramount,
You're missing the
Sportsnet
biggest one.
Now,
Uber.
Uber Eats, skip the dishes. It literally and every single one has this kind of and there's a grocery ones too, and you're either paying per use or you're paying it as most of them are most people are paying monthly. Let's say, even though if you read the fine print, like a lot of these, if you pay for a year, you could save up to 40-50%. That's good savings because I don't know any other investments that are guaranteed to save me 40-50% or add to my bottom line, Zach. Right?
Yeah, seriously.
So here's the thing, all these things add up so much. You're like, it's fine because it's and YouTube Plus. So you got like $12 a month, $10 a month, $15 a month, $25 a month, $25 a month, $12 a month. Zach, these are adding up to all of a sudden two, three, four, $500 a month when you're incorporating cable bills, cell phone bills, and but people say, I need this, I can't be without this. It's so much. And even something funny like a Netflix, you're like, how much Netflix did I watch? You're like, well, it's $9 a month on the basic one. $9, what's that? But those $9 really add up fast, don't they, Zach?
They do, and that's why a lot of people have been sharing accounts. So, for instance, my brother, sister-in-law's cousin's nephew has a Netflix account, so he adds a profile for me, right? And
As a lawyer, I'm not justifying this, and I'm not hearing any of this. I'm not giving legal advice, Zach, of any kind. Please continue.
yes, of course. I'm not saying that this is actually this is what I'm doing. This is the hypothetical, right? And a lot of people are
Hypothetical.
doing this.
Hi,
Um,
Netflix.
yes. So Netflix has decided that they're going to start tracking IP addresses. They want to find out who's using what and where you're using it because for these multi-user families, they're going to say, we're getting rid of these profiles. There's no way you've got 15 people in 20 different locations using it. And there's an argument for people saying, well, I have it on my phone, I have it on my computer, I have it on my iPad, I have it on my TV, my Roku, my Apple TV, whatever it is. So, there's tons of different places that you can have it, which is why they're saying we're going to track IPs and see what everybody's doing. And then we're going to charge you more if you're sharing it with multiple people.
You want a really good laugh, Zach?
Yeah.
One of the hottest dating features on the apps is people putting in their profiles saying, if you share your Netflix or Crave account with me, I will go out with you. And they're serious, I'm sure. I've heard this. This is what we come down to.
Yeah, I know.
Dating, dating, it used to be dating for pizza. Now it's dating for Netflix accounts.
I'm very grateful. I never had to use the app. I'm very grateful to have my one true love and all that fun, lovey-dovey, blah 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 stuff. So
And
I
if you'd
I
like
don't
to
know the
keep your
stuff.
legs, it will stay that way, Zach, because of course she's my niece. So,
Yes.
um, but it's funny because people, unfortunately, in our media gratification age, don't have a lot of self control. So I find that they're all, I don't know how you find this, but most people I know are all or nothing. They're like, I can't handle this. I'm getting rid of all the subscriptions. I'm going to have nothing, or I'm going to have everything because I can't give up any of them because they're like my children. I love my subscriptions equally. I can't let go of any one of them. So people are all either I have a million subscriptions or no subscriptions at all, pretty much.
Yeah, well, what I've been doing a lot of lately is budgeting. It's not glorious or sexy by any means. And more often than well, it can be fun for me because when we do the budget, I get to look at the statements and it's like let me see all your dirty little secrets, haha.
But the least
Anyways,
sexy thing is being in debt, actually, I think.
well, exactly, and that's why these people they come to me and they say, well, Zachary, I've spending $400 a month more than I can afford. So we create a budget for them, and more often than not, you'll see the subscriptions go first. Well, I shouldn't say that. So you have the online spending and the Starbucks like things like that where you're spending you really don't need to spend that money. So once we get rid of the Amazon online shopping, the Starbucks, then the next thing you go is almost always the subscriptions.
I've told people all the time from a client point of view, if you really want to save your money, you do not go into a shopping mall. You stay away from the malls, stay away from Amazon, stay away from eBay. These three culprits love to take our money. No matter what, when we walk through a mall and we see inevitably something we like in a certain color and it's on sale, we can't help but want it. And they design it that way so that you will be attracted to it and spend your money because you're like, oh boy, I'm saving so much money instead of thinking that you're actually spending money.
Yeah, but John, the problem is that people don't want it, John. We need it. There's something inside of us. We will not survive without it.
So maybe you can help clarify once and for all as the money man, please. Because I joke about this all the time, especially in watches, because I'll send a watch I saw on an article and I send it to one of my enabling watch collector friends, and I'm like, I want this. And then they write back to me, no, 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 you need this. So please let's help clarify once and for all, and all joking aside, in spending our money, especially our disposable money, what's the difference between a want and a need?
A need is you will die without it. You will not survive. A want is I could go without it perfectly fine, but I desire it and it would make me feel nice.
So if the new season of Power has come out on Crave TV and I need to watch it, and if I don't watch it, I'm going to be very upset. That is still not technically a need. That's a want, you're saying.
You are correct.
And if the latest watch came out and the store has a 1 day sale, 50% off, and I need that watch because it makes me look good and it's professional, everything, that's still not technically a need. That's a want.
You're making a lot of sense to me right now.
So I have a feeling, Zachary, that if we tell people wants versus needs, most things are actually wants because all we need is clothes, food, shelter, transportation. That's about it. I don't know many other needs other than we won't be able to survive.
No, of course. It's just listen. It's hard to blame people because you're coming down from that hill, right? Like the majority, and especially in our area, right, that we're noticing in the Greater Toronto area in Ontario, um, the average person's mortgage has increased by $1,000 a month.
Easy.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
$1,000 a month. So 2 years ago, we could afford all these wants. It was not a problem. We would still save for our retirement, save for, future goals. We have our house, we put food on the table, we went out for nice dinners, and we could still afford all these wants. And now, at least that we had, or the car we were financing and our mortgage payment, or even, the fridge that we bought that we were financing, or the washer dryer, right? Everything has gone up so much because of the interest rates. And now all those wants out the window. It's either that or your credit card bill's going up. It's a hard thing to cut out. I understand it, but it is way worse than having to get into debt.
And that's where something like subscription models for events, I like those. So, you buy a ticket to an event, you can't make it for whatever reason, and then you have to go resell it or you lose the money, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden now Major League Baseball, other sporting leagues, entertainment, movies, I think they're all getting very smart on this. Sort of like, hey, we're going to help you out here. So you go to 10 baseball games, you go to 10 movies. This is what the regular cost is. We're giving it to you now at a discount. You may not get the best tickets in the world, but it's flexible. You pick whatever game you want to go to. So the organizations, whether it's sporting, entertainment, collect the money up front. They're happy. If you don't end up using it, they're really laughing. And from your end, you're like, I'm saving money. Plus, I get to attend this thing and I'm not breaking the bank. Those I find are more manageable because how many people in reality, Zach? I mean, look at these numbers, right? Who can afford 81 home games in Major League Baseball for season tickets times two tickets? Because presumably you're not going by yourself at the very least. Hockey, basketball, it's 41 or so home games plus preseason plus the privilege of buying playoff tickets if it's even available. I don't know who can possibly afford it in this day and age.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I hear you. Mervish is a theater company. They've been running a model similar to this for a while, where you could purchase a package for the year, and so you'd get tickets to each major play that they'd coming in and everything, and they'd give you tickets, and it wasn't guaranteed these seats or whatever it was. Here's my thing though, okay? And this is a man in school. I would have loved to have done this. I would have loved it. I would like to analyze how attendance would be affected because again, we have it already paid for in our subscription model. There's less need. There's not necessarily need. There's less immediacy that thing telling us, well, we don't waste money around here. We already bought the tickets. Well, it's already bought and paid for, so you don't need to go. Right? There's no gun to your head saying, oh, we have to go, which you wouldn't have to do anyways, but it's not as immediate anyways. If you know what I'm saying. The point is that I would think that attendance would generally speaking go down. Um, I don't know by what margin, but I do think it would go down generally speaking, because if you're buying tickets to go to any game, it's within a major city, and unless the tickets are or the subscription model is only offered to those within a certain proximity, not a lot of people are going to want to schlep to wherever the game is hosted. For instance, in Toronto, for a Blue Jay game, I love the Jays, right? I want to go watch the Jays, but not every day am I going to be willing to travel an hour and a half downtown in order to get there. So I'd be interested because a lot of money that these teams and that the arenas make is concession money.
And this is where Toronto Blue Jays got very, very smart. They're like, okay, we're not going to be able to do irrigation and be able to have grass on the field because it's just not sustainable in this particular dome for whatever reason. So we're going to go travel around to other cities. We're going to go to Detroit, look at Comerica Park, if that's what it's still called. We're going to go to Pittsburgh. And now they decided for this upcoming season, they revamped the stadium. So all of a sudden, you got less seats, more group section, more bars, pubs, hangout areas, fun areas where you can bring your office. There's areas for 5 people, 10 people, 20 people, 50 people. So we're really encouraging groups to come out at a very low cost. You can socialize. You want to drink and eat while you're here? We got all that for you. So it's become like the mecca place to be rather than everybody sitting in their own individual seat, confined over there. Concessions are all the way over there, and there's nothing to eat or drink. So this is where I'm also seeing that it's when you were mentioning at the beginning of the episode about face to face interaction and that's coming together again. I think that sports teams got very smart on that, encouraging people to come for the social experience.
Of
And
course.
secondary, you can watch the game. Like I noticed, I got invited to the Maple Leafs to watch the other night when they faced the Islanders, and I was sitting in a little section where it was like four people in like this own mini little box, but inside the pub area. And that pub was rocking all night. People were conglomerating around, drinking and eating, and it was nonstop flowing of food and beverages. I'm pretty sure if you are the Maple Leafs or any sports team, like you were saying, those concessions, that's where the money's at.
Well, of course, if you think about it, if you think about it logically, right? You go to a Jays game, you buy any tickets within, the upper tier, right? Top level. They're not so expensive, right? What are they? Maybe 50, $60 a person, right? So you have two people go, you spend $120. And there at the game, it's, all about the fan experience. We're buying my peanuts and cracker jacks. That costs $10, right? Then we're getting drinks because those peanuts and cracker jacks are salty. So we're buying waters, another 15, $20. Next thing you know, that's $35 for one snack, and there's 9 innings, baby. 9 innings. So go to a game, probably spend $100 on food. You spent 120 on the tickets. Now you're doubling down.
Let me ask you, because you're the money guy. So in Canadian dollars, how much would you guess an espresso martini was at the Maple Leaf game?
I want to say like 14, $15.
14, 15. Okay. And how much would you say the filet mignon dinner was from a gourmet chef with all the fixins? 8 ounce, 6 ounce. Let's say 6 ounce.
I'm sitting here thinking, well, what is the keg charge, right? Because that's pretty round.
Okay.
Um,
Remember, this isn't an arena.
no, I know. $80.
You ready to blow your mind, Zach? The
Yeah,
espresso martini was $32. The filet mignon dinner, which was excellent with all the fixins, was 55. Wait, so I debated on it. I ordered an app instead of the martini because I said I ain't spending $32 on a drink. That is madness.
that is madness.
Absolutely. And this is why teams make a lot of money.